Welcome to Caldwell Nature Preserve, and today we are learning a little bit about the fossils that you find in the Cincinnati area. Caldwell is one of many places to find Ordovician fossils. Ordovician is about 450 million years ago, before dinosaurs. So if you kind of check out the poster, this is what it would have been like 450 million years when we had the shallow sea and the many different sea creatures. Now, when we find fossils, a majority of those fossils are in rocks called limestone, and sometimes you see them in different forms. We have what is considered a mold, which looks like an impression, and then we have what is called a cast, which makes it look more three-dimensional. Both of these are considered fossils or fossil rocks. There are different kinds of fossils here, many different shelled animals. One is brachiopods. Brachiopods are symmetrical, which means both sides are the same. Looks like a little seashell that you might find. The other one, which is the most common of all, is called a bryozoan, sometimes known as a moss animal. Each little tiny pore is kind of like an apartment building with little zooids that would come out and filter feed. Bryozoan is the most common fossil you'll find at Caldwell. Some are larger pieces, some are very tiny, and some are kind of bumpy, and some are smooth. It just depends on the species. Another one that we find is a filter feeder called a crinoid. Now, you might notice that it was very stationary, and the helix, which is all the arms that wave around, is pretty rare to find, but usually we'll find the stem. Sometimes the middle of the stem looks like a star. We've seen some that look like a flower or just a circle. You might find individual segments look like little tiny Cheerios or fairy rings, but this would be a crinoid. Not to be mistaken for the brachiopod, this is a pelecypod. So it's asymmetrical. It is not identical side by side. We have a little point here. Common, but not as common as a brachiopod. Another one which is coveted around here is the horn coral. It kind of looks like a dinosaur tooth to some folks, but it would filter feed, and the point was the end that would be adhered to the bottom of the ocean floor. So sometimes they're kind of squished, sometimes you'll see the whole part, but usually they are a cast three-dimensional. Now we finally get to some animals that moved. This is a gastropod. It was actually one of the quickest animals during the Ordovician time. This is a snail in our modern times. And if you see a snail shell that's kind of gray and solid, made of rock, most likely it's a gastropod. Sometimes it looks like a little ice cream on an ice cream cone. So, this one was the big bad predator of the Ordovician Sea. This is a cephalopod. From tentacles to the tip of its conical shell, you're looking at about 14 to 15 feet long. Are you gonna find a 14-foot fossil? No. You're gonna find segments of the cephalopod shell. So it almost looks like a carrot that's gray and made of stone. We never see this part. We always see the shell part. And its favorite food to eat is our state fossil, the trilobite. We'll show you that in a second. These are related to nautilus of today. Also, they are related to squid and octopus. So, cephalopod means thinking foot. Last but not least, the coveted trilobite. Trilobite means 3 lobes, 1, 2, 3. It's an arthropod, and it's more related to roly-polies of today and also horseshoe crabs. Now, there are different trilobites out there. This one is the Isotelus, which is state fossil of Ohio. You also might see just bits and pieces. Sometimes we see a lace collar. It depends. In some of our other Cincinnati parks, you find different species of trilobites. Isotelus pieces is what we see the most here at Caldwell. All right, fossil hunting is an awesome pastime at Caldwell, and we hope you enjoy and see you in the parks.